चिद्रूपवीक्षणचनं हृदये रमन्तम् आमीलिताक्षमनिमेषसमाधिनिष्ठम् मञ्जासनस्थमतिमानुषमीशरूपम् आनन्दमात्मरमणं शरणं प्रपद्ये।
ॐ नमः परमऋषिभ्यो नमः परमऋषिभ्यः। हरिः ॐ। उपासकानां यदुपासनीयम् उपात्तवासं वटशाखिमूले तद्धाम दाक्षिण्यजुषा स्वमूर्त्या जागर्तु चित्ते मम बोधरूपम् अद्राक्षम् अक्षीणदयानिधानम् आचार्यमाद्यं वटमूलभागे मौनेन मन्दस्मितभूषितेन महर्षिलोकस्य तमोनुदन्तं विद्राविताशेषतमोगणेन मुद्राविशेषेण मुहुर्मुनीनां निरस्य मायां दयया विधत्ते देवो महान् तत्त्वमसीति बोधम्। ममाद्यदेवो वटमूलवासी कृपाविशेषात्कृतसन्निधानः ओङ्काररूपाम् उपदिश्य विद्याम् आविद्यगध्वान्तम् अपाकरोतु। वेदान्तशैलजनदीरमणीयरूपां निर्वाणनिस्तुलरसायनबोधधारां संसारजातसकलामयदोषहन्त्री जीयादियं च रमणेश्वरवाक्सवित्री सदाशिवसमुद्भूतशुद्धज्ञानैकरूपिणीं रमणाचार्यसम्पूर्णां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। अन्तश्चैतन्यरूपेण गुरुरूपेण यो बहिः भासते शुद्धबोधं तं देशिकं रमणं भजे। यत्कृपालेशमात्रेण स्वानुभूतिसमुज्ज्वलां तमीडेहं सदा शुद्धं रमणेशमहेश्वरम्। साकारमनृतं विद्धि निराकारं निरन्तरम् एतत्तत्त्वोपदेशेन न पुनर्भवसम्भवः। Know this, that which is form is unreal. That which is formless is eternal. He who exemplifies this truth in his own life will no longer be subject to rebirth. Ekameva samam tattvam vadanti hi vipashitah ragatyagad punashittam ekanekam na vidyate. The sages say that the reality is one and unchanging. When craving is renounced, unity and diversity cease to exist in the mind. Anatmarupam cha katham samadhihi atmaswarupam cha katham samadhihi astiti nastiti katham samadhihi mokshaswarupam yati sarvam ekam. How can a man attain samadhi as long as he thinks of himself as something other than the Atman? But on the other hand, samadhi is not possible for a man who knows himself as the Atman. How can samadhi be attained as long as a man thinks that the Atman exists and does not exist? And what need is there to attain samadhi if all are one and by nature free? Vishuddhosmi samam tattvam videhastvam ajovyayah janami hana janami tyatmanam manyase katham. You are the ever pure and unchanging reality. You are bodiless, birthless and imperishable. I know the Atman, or I do not know. Why do you think in such terms? Tattvamasyādi vakyena swatma hi pratipaditaha neti neti shrutihi brūyād anritam pancha bhautikam. The Atman, the true nature of being, has been established by the great Vedic Mahavakyas, such as Tattvamasi, you are that, and I am Brahman. The body consisting of 5 elements is unreal. This has been declared by the Upanishads, saying, not this, not this. Atmanyeva atmana sarvam tvaya purnam nirantaram dhyata dhyanam nate chittam nirlajjam dhyayate katham. Truly, everything in this universe is filled through and through by your own self. There is no meditator or meditation in your mind. How is it that you are meditating without any sense of shame? Shivam na janami katham vadami, Shivam na janami katham bhajami, Aham shivaschet paramartha tattvam samasvarupam gaganopamam cha. How can I speak of or worship that supreme Shiva? Beatitude, which I do not know as an object of knowledge. For I myself am the supreme Shiva, the ultimate reality, which is full by nature and all-pervading like space. Naham tattvam samam tattvam kalpana hetu varjitam grahya grahaka nirmuktam swasamvedyam katham bhavet. I am not the cosmic principles. I am that self-same reality which is devoid of inference and reason and free from subject and object. How can I know myself? Anantarupam nahi vastu kinchit tattvasvarupam nahi vastu kinchit atmaikarupam paramartha tattvam nahimsako vapi nachapi ahimsa. An object cannot be infinite by nature. Matter cannot be reality itself. Truly, the Atman alone is the supreme reality. It is neither injurious nor non-violent. Vishuddhosi samam tattvam videham ajam avyayam vibhramam katham atmarte vibhrantoham katham punaha. You are that pure, bodiless, unborn, imperishable, unchanging reality. How can there be any confusion relating to the Atman? Again, how can you say I am confused? In the Slokam, sañcita āgāmiyaṅgaḻ sārāvām ñānikku ஊழ் விஞ்சும் எணல் வேற்றார் கேள்விக்கு விளம்பும் சொல்லாம் பர்த்தாபோய் கைம்மையுறா பத்தினி எஞ்சாததுபோல் கர்த்தாபோம் மூவினையும் காண். கரோமி கர்மேதி நரோ விஜானன் பாத்யோ பவேத் கர்மபலம் பலம் ச போக்தும் விசாரதூதா ஹிருதி கர்த்திருதா சேத் கர்மத்ரயம் நஷ்யதி சைவ முக்திஹி. அது என்ன உள்ளது 40 பாட்டு. நான் கர்த்தாங்கிறது நினைக்கிற வரைக்கும் 3 கர்மங்களும் பாதிக்கும். So yesterday we saw we saw the most important, one of the most important point in Advaita Vedanta. That is about prarabdha karma. Generally, when we see a ñāni living in the world, every brahmanishta, brahmavit is unique, not like another, no imitation. And what makes this difference? It is their prarabdha. One is like Janaka, a king. Another is like Shuka, moving about, free, nothing. Both are ñānis. If you give more importance to outer renunciation, we will say Shuka is greater. But Vyasa sends Shuka for confirmation of his realization to Janaka, to the court of the king. So Janaka is called Videha, the bodiless one. He is ruling the kingdom, he is a great ruler, emperor. Not at all attached to anything. He lives as Videha. A Jivan Mukta is a Videha. Videha means no Deha, no body. And body is seen by the onlooker. Yesterday we said one word to say the body is unreal. What is that? Apramanikam. Apramanikam. Body is not authentic. So you cannot ask whether Jivan Mukta will have cold or heat, whether he will have physical problems. Outwardly it is all there. But the ignorance is completely wiped out. The avidya is completely removed. That the body is no more there for him in his conviction. Bhagavan very clearly indicates, is their body in deep sleep? If it is real, it should be felt there. There you are there. Not this individual eye. The eye sense is not there. The mind is not there. The body is not there. The world is not there. But your existence, satta, astitva, it is there. And that is your real nature. And after that, everything comes. I comes, thoughts comes, body comes, world comes. Why comes? Nobody can explain. Rite artham yat pratiyeta. Na pratiyeta cha atmani. without any rule and reason, sheer absurdity, it appears. And you dive deep and see in the self, nothing is there. Then what is this? Tad vidyāt atmano mayam. Bhagavata says that is the power of the Atman, the Maya, the deluding power. Yatha bhaso yatha tamaha. Example is the water seen in a mirage. Even if you know, it will not disappear. It will be there. But you know that it does not exist. So, the knower, when he dives deep within himself, seeking the source of the I thought, meditating deep and inquiring what is this I, what is its real nature, and touches the source, heart, and finds that uninterrupted awareness, that deep down within the recognition comes that the upadhi, the limitation, is unreal. And still the limitation continues. See, the beauty is we have to clearly understand. People ask all unnecessary things like, oh, if we say body does not exist, will it solve the problem? And someone asks, if we hit a ñāni, can he say that I am not the body? These kind of questions won't do. See, the experience the Jivan Mukta gets in Samadhi is some deep fulfillment. And the conviction that arises from that prajna has no use in the terrestrial, in the so-called transactional world. It is not for the vyavahara dharma. Na surayo hi vyavahāramenam tattvāvamarshena sahamananti. Those who know the secret, they don't mix this vyavahara with tattvajnanam. The use of tattvajnanam is swanubhava vedyam. The Jivan Mukta knows. It is just like Ramakrishna says, when you go for a fair in a city, first you find a lodging, put your baggage there, everything you keep there, then you wander about free. Like that, the Mukta Purusha finds his real lodging, her home, in the heart. There he knows that really I am absolutely free. But in the plane, in this so-called virtual reality, I come down, problems are all there, everything is there. Surface plane, I will have problem, pain will be there, pleasure will be there, complexities, confusions, everything, outer things will be happening around. But the person, he alone knows what he has attained by that jnanam, by that jnana samadhi, by that nirvikalpa jnanam. He alone knows. That is what in Ulladinarpade Sadarshanam Bhagavan says, katasya sthitim bhavayitum kshamakaha. அதுன்னு அவன் நிலைமை தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறது எப்படி, அது என்ன பாட்டுது? So you can just intuit that all, that's all, that oh, he has gone there, he has attained it, only intuition. But for him it is a constant experience. So this is the thing which Bhagavan said, for a jnani there is no prarabdha. No āgāmi, no sañcita is accepted by all. But Advaita, Vedanta, ultimately we declare no prarabdha also. In a relative plane, we accept prarabdha. Generally, we say vyavaharik, pratibhasika, vyavaharika, paramarthika. Vyavaharika is this outer, this worldly interaction. It's not same. Pratibhasika is mental. Paramarthika is the real, the ultimate truth. So, there he knows that he is free. So, this Bhagavan declared, 33rd verse. அவன் நிலைமை அந்நியமில்லார் அவன் நிலைமை அந்நியம் ஒன்றும் அறியார் அவன் நிலைமை உன்னல் எவன் இன்னார் ஒருவர்க்கு இசைவிப்பது இன்னார் ஒருவர்க்கு இசைவிப்பதுவோ இன்னம் ஒருவர்க்கு இசைவிப்பதுவோ தான் தானாக இருக்கிறது இன்னொருத்தருக்கு எப்படி சொல்கிறது? சொல்ல முடியாது. ஸோ அவ்வாறு அறிவார் அறிகின்றதனால் எவ்வாறு ஒருவர்க்கு இசைவிப்பதுவே. Only those who abide in that state, only they will know. How to say beyond that? It is impossible. Logic cannot convince. How can you logically say, I do not have body? It is absurd, nonsense. Ashariram vavasantam na priya priye sprishataha, as the Upanishad says. When the person is beyond shariram, no shariram, then no pleasure, no pain, it cannot touch him. Ashariram sharireshu anavastheshu avasthitam mahantam vibhum atmanam matva dhiro nashojati. The brave one, the wise one, knowing the Atma, the self within, as bodiless, he is experiencing it inside the body and finds there is no body. That is what now we say. Everything is mind, Dattatreya said, Avadhuta Gita. Everything is mind, he said. And actually, na manaha paramarthadaha. In reality, you see no mind. So, this is one topic. Now today, new topic. 34th verse. These are all very miscellaneous verse, we can say, not connected to one another. People take some shloka to Bhagavan and Bhagavan will translate it to Tamil. One day, இந்த Ecchamma Paati ஒன்று ஏதோ ஒரு பேப்பர் துண்டு எடுத்துன்னு போவாங்க, சத்சங்கத்வனி. அது எதுக்கு எடுத்துன்னு போகிறா? One devotee girl, Ecchamma was a very old devotee. Her daughter, she used to take bhiksha to Bhagavan when he was in Virupaksha. And she used to observe very strongly or so many vratams, upavasa, ekadashi. Bhagavan is very famous for breaking all this many times. It's very often he breaks. Because when they come to him, all becomes sometimes meaningless. So this lady, she used to do very strongly observe fasting, and perhaps she had some physical weakness problem, something. That is why perhaps Bhagavan was so compassionate to her. And the paper thundu avale kondu kudukrano. Okay. So, this girl, she herself takes a paper, in piece of paper, and takes it to Bhagavan, in which she says, please give me the meaning. Then Bhagavan gives the meaning. அது இன்னமும் வரும் போல் இருக்கு. முடிஞ்சுடுதா சத் சங்கத்வே நிசங்கத் அதோடு சேர்ந்து முடிஞ்சுடுது. ஓகே ஓகே. ஸோ தேர் says where Bhagavan reading that shloka, see, this is upadesha for you. Because when you have sajjana sange samprapte samasta niyamaihi alam tālavrindena kim karyam labdhe malayamarute is the Sanskrit shloka. When you get sajjana sangha, the contact of saints, not necessarily jnani or anything, they can be bhaktas, those who have vairagya. Yoga Vasishta gives a peculiar definition for great Mahatmas. Samsara nindhaganam samsargaha. It says you have contact with those great souls who will speak against samsara, worldly life. Nindana. அதுக்கு என்ன சொல்றது? Contemn. Those who condemn samsara, such saints, their contact you have, your mind will absorb it more and more and more, and you lose your life. So when you get this kind of contact, samasta niyamaihi alam, all the outward disciplines are secondary. Alam means you don't need, not that. This is more important. This is more important. All other things are secondary. When you have contact with saints, how it gives you energy, power, nothing can be compared with it. So, samasta niyamaihi alam, and the example given is when the Malaya Maruta is the breeze of Malaya, the hill breeze. It's a mystical hill breeze actually. Malaya Maruta means it's a mystical, or you can call magical hill breeze, which converts every single tree as sandalwood. Tālavrindena kim karyam, you don't need this fan or that hand fan or nothing. Vishari kondu enna karyam nee kūru. As Bhagavan says, what is the use of vishari, a hand fan? Because the Malaya Maruta is blowing. Malaya Maruta is blowing. Like that, when you have this satsanga, all are liberated, all are liberated. Swami Vivekananda used to say to Sharachandra Chakrabarti, one of his disciples, he says, come and join. Like the monkeys serving Rama, one stone after the stone. It is not simply a bridge from Rameshwaram to Sri Lanka. Raghuvira padanyasa pavitri kritapamsave. Dashakhanda shirasheda hetave setave namaha. Setave Ramachandrasya mokshamargaika hetave. It is the mokshamarga. So come and join this great mission. And what will I attain? What will I get? Sharachandra Chakrabarti asked Swami Vivekananda, what teaching will I get? I will teach you to die. He said, I will teach you how to die bravely, without fear. That is what. First he said, I will teach you to die. Those who love death without fear. So this is so the bridge, the royal bridge of liberation. The story goes, even a squirrel joined that. When all the monkeys were building the bridge, a squirrel, it will just first take a dip in the ocean and roll in the sand and come there and kodanjify. All the sand it will put there. So, like that, everyone who come and join this great mission is satsanga. So when you get satsanga, all the little sadhanas becomes secondary. Not that you need not do, they all become secondary. So saying this, Bhagavan said, very rarely Bhagavan has said like that. No, to Rangan also Bhagavan said, because Rangan was worrying so much about the debt that he was having. About, in those days, about 10,000 rupees or so. So he was worried so much. He could not sleep. And in Skandashram, you can imagine a very beautiful Paurnami, full moon day. Sleepless, he was rolling. And Bhagavan very silently came and sat near him and said, "What happened? Why are you sleepless?" He said, "Bhagavan, I am not able to sleep. So many problems. So much debt I have." Bhagavan said, "Oh, you have problems? You are big enough to have problems?" See, in the sky there are so many stars. And you know that one star, sometimes it is much, much bigger than the sun. When compared to that star, our sun is a small dot. When compared to the sun, our earth is a small dot. And in that earth, where is Tiruvannamalai? A small dot. And sitting there, where is Rangan? And he says, "I have problems, my life, all that." And saying after all that, compassionately Bhagavan said, "Tālavrindena kim karyam." He said, when you have got the contact of a Jivan Mukta, all suffering comes to an end. He himself is saying this. When you have a contact of a Jivan Mukta, all sufferings come to an end. So, this is out of context now. So, the thing is, when you come in contact with a Jivan Mukta, you get jnana. That is the thing. You are transformed as a sandalwood. The real alchemy happens. You get jnana. And jnana means what? No prarabdha. Your so-called big, troublesome life becomes a dream, meaningless. You wake up from the dream. What else do we need? Then and there, the problem is solved. Nirvana means just blowing out. Ignorance is blown out. Problem is blown out. The ego which claims so much suffering is removed, vanished. So that is the greatest attainment one can have by having contact with a Mukta Purusha, a liberated being. And such contact is the sure sign that you have Bhagavad Kripa, Bhagavan's grace. Bhagavatam, Parikshit says, this king who became virakta, dispassionate, because seventh day is going to die. So he left everything and went to the bank of Ganga and sitting there. There arrived the great sage, Shuka. Seeing the great sage Shukacharya, Parikshit says, Api me Bhagavan Pritaha. He says, now I know that I truly have the grace of Bhagavan. Because otherwise, Anyatha te avyakta gatehe darshanam naha katham nrinam. If that was not there for me, how can I see you who is avyakta gati? You may see a jnani outwardly, but to know his inner state, it is impossible. Recognition, by his grace only you recognize him. Guru Vācaka in Tiruvācakam says, he saw his Guru and he didn't see him as his Guru. That very instant he felt here Shiva is sitting. And he is wondering about his recognition, not about Shiva. He says, Shivan avan ena terndanan kanga. He says, I recognized him as Shiva. How does that recognition arose within me? So that recognition is a very subjective experience. So here happens the satsanga. Here happens the bhakti. Here happens the vairagya, ñāṇam, everything. Nothing outward. It is all within you. In your own mind. There you should have renunciation. Sannyasa yoga. Sannyasa is not this outer thing. It is sannyasa yoga. Every moment you learn the great kala, the art of renunciation. Because that is considered by the Upanishad as the greatest tapasya. All the doing tapasya is secondary. Giving up tapasya is great. Nyasa yesham tapasam atiriktamahu. As the Upanishad, exploring one after the other, what is the great tapasya? What is the great tapasya? Ultimately declares renunciation is the greatest tapasya. Nyasa eva atirechayat. It shown forth as the greatest attainment. Completely giving up. It does not end all your life. As long as you are living, what are you going to do? Give up. That's all. Not holding anything. And the more and more you create space, anantata. Bhagavan said the greatest giving up is giving up the ego, the possessor. When the possessor is renounced, all the possessions are given up. Jnanam sannyasa lakshanam. The sign of sannyasa is jnanam. This is one definition. In Ramana Gita, Kavyakanta Ganapati Muni asks Bhagavan about the 4 ashramas. Bhagavan speaks only about 3 ashramas. Brahmacharya, Garhastya and Vanaprastha. Vanaprastha means lot of tapasya, lot of sadhana. Nowadays the sannyasa is not of that standard of even Vanaprastha. Even Vanaprastha standard is not there for us. Vanaprastha itself is great tapasya. So sannyasa, then Kavyakanta asks about Turiya ashrama, sannyasa. There Bhagavan says, Turiya ashramaha kale swayameva bhavishyat. Like a ripe fruit falls, when a person becomes ripe by austerity, by jnanam, that kind of freedom, absolute freedom, is Turiya ashrama. It is not taking something or giving something. No. So it is the true Turiya ashrama. The ultimate renunciation. So jnanam sannyasa lakshanam. The sign of sannyasa is atmak jnanam and reverse also. Shankaracharya puts it reverse. He says sannyasa is the sign of jnana. He says the sign of jnanam is absolute renunciation. Complete renunciation, because he doesn't want anything. Ananda. His very nature is Ananda. So he doesn't hold on to anything for his bliss or happiness or anything. He is absolutely free, generally the example given is like a small boy, like a child. Yatha arbhakaha. So that is freedom. Saying this, this jnanam, how will we attain? Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, you first listen to this Atma Vidya. This is also a knowledge what we are listening now. So, this knowledge about the self. First you listen. You should have crystal clear understanding of it. Pandityam. Pandityam means knowledge, not scholarliness, not academic. You really know it. You understand it, absorb that knowledge. Then balyena tishthāset. After that, the person becomes something like a child. That is one definition. Another is, Shankaracharya says, Jnana balam. One who has the strength of jnanam is bala. So, with the knowledge of the self, demonstrating the strength of that Atma Jnana, you live in the world. Then the third thing is he attains real maunam. Maunam comes later on. Maunam is not outer silence. The state of Muni is Maunam. Maunam means all the non-self, all the names and the forms and idea behind them, nothing touches. So that is Muni Maunam. Then he becomes a knower. So the knowledge of the self, abidance in one's real nature, unaffected by any distractions, is what we are aiming. So the renunciation is not simply of the house or family or money, wife, husband. Oh, not only that. Leaving that, new kind of families can come. Here Bhagavan speaks about that. More and more and more, so many books you read. One Buddhist master, they took to a big library. And so many books. They showed him this department, that department, so many departments. Seeing all that, it's a monastery. So the monk, he said, I really wonder, in spite of all this, how people attain liberation. In spite of all this. When some polemical things like so many Shastra Abhyasa, Aneka Shastra. Somebody was talking these things. Then Bhagavan said, my God, I escaped from all this. I directly attained this knowledge of the self. After that only I went through this. Otherwise I would have been nowhere, lost. So, Shastra Vasana. You should be very careful because Shastra Vasana doesn't mean Moksha Shastra. Vidyaranya Swami very clearly says it is not about Moksha Shastra. Moksha Shastra, you go on reading, every book, every Shastra speaks about the same truth. You more and more and more, it is meditative for you. There are so many other Shastras, complex things. People are experts in making simple things complex. Once, long back, there was a story in mountain path. You know, in many religions, their Satan is very powerful. And so, a senior Satan and a junior Satan. The junior Satan goes to the senior Satan and tells him, you are so lazy. See, somebody has attained enlightenment. And people are crowding. So much people are going to him. They all will get liberated. Our business will get affected. So the senior Satan told, you are very mature. You simply sit, keep quiet. I have made all arrangement. Then this person said, what arrangement? See, so many people are going there. Then he said, see, you know, great scholars are sitting near him. Yes, they are all arranged by me. And now they will interpret and change all that he said. And they will safeguard, nothing will reach the true seeker, mumukshu. So many shastras. First you are coming here to get Brahma Vidya. They will say first learn grammar. After finishing grammar, Vyakarana Shastra, what should I do? Now you go and learn Tarka Shastra. Logic. Then you are lost. Shankaracharya says one place, this logician is a bull without tail or horns. Apuchha shrungaihi tarkika balivardaihi, he says. Apuchha shrunga. Puchha means tail. Shrunga means horn. No puchha, no shrunga. He simply makes sound. In Shivananda Lahari there is a beautiful verse where it says, this logic, you know, just like in Vedanta we have this, without that no Vedanta. What? Snake and rope. Like that, for the Tarkika, this pot, mud, then a mountain, smoke, fire, these are all very important. Smoke is seen, so fire should be there. Inference, like that. So, with all that, a beautiful verse, Shankaracharya says, Gadova mritpindopi anurapi dhumognihi achalaha patova tanturuva pariharadikim ghora shamanam. The samsara is ghora. Ghora means terrible. And how can that ghora shamanam, how can that removing, finding peace in that terrible samsara, how can you do that? We have come for that. Somebody goes to a doctor with cancer. The doctor is a cancer specialist. He starts teaching him about cancer. By the time, over. So, ghora shamanam pariharadikim go vritha kantakshobam vahasi. Waste of throat energy. Tarka vajasa, all this debate, logic. Padambojam shambhor bhaja parama saukyam vraja sudhi. Oh my wise person, my intelligent child, worship the Lord's feet with bhakti, with love. You will attain parama saukyam, that supreme happiness. So this is. So here also Bhagavan says, மக்கள் மனைவி முதல் மற்றவர்கள் அற்பமதி மக்களுக்கு ஒரு குடும்பம் ஆனவே. Know that for the meager-witted householders, normal, ignorant people, for them, their family, their wife, children, their money, their house, this is their wealth. Relatives, this is their wealth. They have their problem there. மிக்க கல்வி உள்ளவர்த்தம் உள்ளத்தே ஒன்று அல பன்னூல் குடும்பம் உள்ளது. For a man of too much erudition, it is not one family, so many books are running inside his brain. Pannul kudumbam ulladu. So many ideas, so many things, so many jargons. They all disturb his quietude. Yoga tadayai or. Bhagavan says this is an obstacle to yoga. This is an obstacle to Chitta-vritti nirodha. Anything that distracts you is an obstacle. Too much reading is also an obstacle. Shastradhyayana, for a sannyasi especially, no other work. So for him, the Shastra says Moksha Shastra Adhyayana. Only the Upanishad, Gita, all the Vedanta Granthas only. It's because that speaks about the single idea. The whole teaching is only to Tamevaikam Janatha. No, only the Atma. Nothing else. Distracting the mind with so many other things. Thoughts running riot. It is an obstacle for Chitta-vritti nirodha. Here, first Bhagavan said about common people, they have their own distractions. Putra dharadi samsara. Wife, children, this is their samsara, which is very well known. There itself, the person should train himself to be unattached. In Gita, Bhagavan says how a householder can attain peace. It's like a tablet. Krishna says, asaktihi anabhishvangaha putradara grihadishu. Nityam cha samachittatvam. Ishta anishta upapattishu. Every family, this shloka, they should put like a board. Be unattached. Asakti. Abhishwanga means they are mine. I belong to them. Mama ete aham tesham. Because of this, so much trouble arises. Nityam cha samachittatvam. Constantly the mind is brought to that equanimity, that peace, shanti. Ishta anishta. Pleasing things, bad things, they will one after the other occur in life. You cannot do anything. Ishtanishtopapatishu samachittatvam. After all that, one turns towards spiritual life. Then this comes. Too much academics, sometimes very great scholars, they do not have mumukshutva. They study even Vedanta Shastra only for becoming a scholar. So by that, vyavasayadmika buddhi is not there. They are great scholars, mighty scholars. I know very great scholars who had no idea that someone can attain this. Sometimes mighty scholars, but in no common sense. They think their book learning is all. Such cluelessness is what Bhagavan despises here. Not true scholarship. Because Bhagavan himself was in a way a good scholar. Jagadisha Shastri used to say, even Bhashya, etc., we used to ask to Bhagavan. And Bhagavan himself used to suggest, read this, read that, unnecessarily becoming book eaters. Bookworms. That is what? Book Pannul Kudumbam. The books becomes family. Nirgranthaha. A jnani is called Nirgrantha. Nirgrantha means, Granthi means not of ignorance. And all that is cut asunder is a Nirgrantha. Nirgrantha also means he has no Grantha. His own Atma is the Grantha for him. For a sannyasi, it's also an instruction. Na Granthan abhyaset bahu. Too many Granthas. Don't go through many texts. Read your own self, then very authentic books like the Upanishad or Bhagavan's books, it all becomes very, very clear. Then as a joy you can read. One devotee here, I went to his house. Lot of books. And he will very safe, he will not read. And he had one very big book, very huge volume. I asked him, you have read this? No. He said, this one book will give moksha. How? Put it in the head. Put it on his head. Instant mukti. The person will get liberated. So, yogattadai, anything that makes you think, anything that produces thoughts in you, too much distraction is an obstacle. If Bhagavan if Bhagavan writes now, he will write a verse about mobile also. Not about book, but about mobile. Who reads books now? People buy our commentary of Bhagavad Gita, 3 volumes. After 1 year, one devotee said, I have read 3 pages after 1 year. So, reading habit is also very less now. You can use it as a swadhyaya tapas. All the true spiritual books, authentic books, they are also divine. There are some saints, always they keep some grantha with them. And they will be looking at it, always. There are some great Mahatmas, they used to read Bhagavatam or Ramayanam or Gita, some text will be there. Not to talk to others. And some of them have very strange practices like, if you go to take blessing from them, they will take Bhagavatam and read 1 chapter. That is blessing. You can go. That's all. Nothing to talk. That way, Swadhyaya Tapaha. Swadhyaya is said as a tapas. It's an austerity. So, the reading was done about the the authentic books alone they read. Directly the Upanishad, the commentaries, holding on to them. Otherwise, everyone is writing books. Before they start, they write book. Yes, wonderful books. Yes. AI, you ask AI to write book, it writes one of the best books. And people go to AI for satsanga also. Yes. Some family problem, something sad, sorrow. You tell AI, it will give you ashvasa. If you ask AI to speak like Ramana Maharshi, it will speak. Like Shankaracharya or like ask like Ramanacharana Tirtha Swami, it will speak.
In your voice.
Yes. Any voice. I don't know where we are going. It's teaching us neti actually, because anything that human skill can do, it will do more perfectly. Now we have to ask the question, what remains for us to do? Then we will understand to have the true insight from within, intuition from within. It cannot be a substitute for that. And to abide in yourself, to have that peace, pure love, bhakti, that will not happen by that. Only that remains now. Everything else, neti. It says, this is not. Whatever it can do, it is not Brahma. What is in you which it cannot touch, that is the truth. This is new Dashashloki. Na computer, na AI. All that na you say. After that, what remains is Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Ito mamatma bhavasi tvameva tato navachyam mama kinchidasti yathāta veshtam gurumam tathaiva tvam atmanatham ramanam bhaja.